very crucial to understand that we are not the first ones to believe in these things or to say these things. Sometimes I feel people, when they go to certain discussions, guys, you are reinventing the wheel. This has been discussed and debated and wrote about long time ago. So I'll give you an example. One of the classes that I teach is Creeds and Confessions. And I'm teaching some of the Reformed confessions, the three forms of unity, for instance. And then we read the Synod of Dort. And then I show them how the Remonstrants and the Dutch Reformed people, they interacted during the Synod of Dort. And then when they read the arguments, guys, this is the same discussion that Arminian and Calvinists are saying today. The same discussions, the same questions, the same answer. This has been kind of dealt with 500 years ago.
Yeah.
Can you think of that?
Yeah.
When I teach Luther and Erasmus, bondage of the will. Whoa. So I did this seminar with our ministry, with the Surah ministry, 2 times at least, where we teach during the Reformation kind of October 31st, the Reformation Day.
Yeah.
We say, well, let's teach about the bondage of the will. And then this is what I just do. I say, Erasmus said this and Luther answered this. And then I imagine how the dialogue would go between them. It's the same kind of dialogue that people, they have at these days. It has been there. Mm-hmm. And the church kind of solved it. When you tell the people, all the Reformed people, they believed in the sovereignty of God or election, let's say. They would say, every one of them. I said, yes, there was everyone. This is what it means to be Reformed.
Yeah.
In fact, not to believe in the doctrines of grace, this means that you are Catholic. Mm-hmm. For them, this kind of, you are shaking the ground. And now they are rethinking of it. But from my experience, if you start this way, you will lose them in the first year.
Why do you think that is?
Because they have this kind of protective mindset.
Yeah.
I don't want this. This is against what I believe. And you just bring them to the debates. For the first 2 years, I think the best thing to do is to let them struggle with the scripture. So let's go to the text. And you help them to do exegesis. So exegesis classes are very important. Interpretation, Old Testament background, New Testament background, give them the general picture, and then they start to teach them, of course, systematic theology, but also some biblical theology. And then you read the text with them and you ask them, what do you think? What does it say? Again, one of the classes that I teach is the Pentateuch, the theology of the Pentateuch. And when we come to the book of Exodus, for instance, and the hardening of Pharaoh's heart, or when we come to why did God choose Jacob and not Esau, and then we read the text together, and then you start the discussion. What do you think?
Yeah,
and you hear it from them, and you see them debating, and then they bring their own views, not what the scripture says, but then they say, I think this is what it means. Then let's go and read the text, and then we read the text. It says the opposite of what you say. What do you do with this? I remember one time, some students said, because I've been promoting these kind of doctrines, and the students were not comfortable. And so they said, you know what? They were talking to each other in front of me. One of them said, my problem is not with Sharif. My problem is with the scripture. Because this is what the scripture says. And this is not what we are used to. This is not what we have been preached or what we have been taught for years and years. But this is challenging. Some of them, when they face the scripture in this way, by God's grace, they just change.
Yeah.
And others would be furious, angry. And then later on, we go to the confessions and church history and historical theology, and when you show it to them, those who already start to absorb it, well, they are more rooted now.